Hey, this is Home Game where I talk about all the nerdy stuff that I enjoy. Up until now, like all of my videos have been RPG related or TTRPG related. But I also get into a little bit of EDC everyday carry type stuff, wilderness stuff, LARPing, like I've said before. And I've recently found the need to try to find a new knife as my normal everyday carry. So it didn't have to be anything extravagant, and I'd prefer if it wasn't because I have a tendency to lose them. So, but the one that I've had for a little over a year. Um, and so I sat down and I wrote out criteria for myself, and I wanted a, and I'll run through the list as we go. I wanted a Tonto blade. Most of the time, I'm just cutting like plastic wrapping at work. I'm a production supervisor at uh, we design, manufacture shrink wrap machinery. So I'm just cutting through that kind of plastic often. So I thought a Tanto blade would be nice to have. My previous knife didn't have it, and it seemed to do okay. But the Tanto blade, or the Americanized bastardized version of a Tanto blade, which is pictured here, it has a nice sharp point at the tip that has a steep angle, and then a second point along the front, which I thought would be more useful than a full rounded blade. So that's what I was looking for. I'm looking for a Tanto blade, and I was looking for a round wire belt clip, which isn't super available. It's not on a lot of knives, but I've seen it. So that's what I was hoping I would find. Um, I was looking for one that, so the picture that's on the screen right now isn't a rounded belt clip. This style of belt clip, uh, it'll tear into your jeans if you carry it a lot and remove it out of your pocket and put it back a lot. It starts tearing into the corner of your pockets. So, in order to save my jeans, that's why I was looking for a more rounded version. And I wanted one that sits deeper in my pocket, because sometimes they put that belt clip like right in the middle and the thing sticks out of your pocket an inch. And it's easier to lose that way. So I wanted to sit deeper in my pocket. I was looking for a slimmer design. I don't need a knife that's 2 inches thick. Um, Budget friendly because, like I said, I lose them. So, I mean, I'm perfectly fine just grabbing a $15 knife that holds an edge, sharpening it, and carrying it. Um, I wanted an internal lock. Some knives, I don't know if I put a picture in here or not. It doesn't look like it. Some knives they have like a lock right around the backside here, which typically they're really stiff locks and they work really well. But if I'm holding something with my left hand and trying to cut something with my right hand, I want to be able to close it single handed and tuck it back in my pocket for safety reasons. So when they put the lock on the back of the knife, it's you have to like flip the knife over in your hand, depress the lock, push the blade against your leg in order to close it. It becomes more of a chore. So I'd rather have the internal lock that sits like underneath the base of the blade. So I was looking for that. Positive folded retention. So some knives you buy them and they don't, when they seat closed, there's not like they flip out really easily from that position. So some knives you buy them and they almost spring shut when you get to the last like eighth inch closing it, and that's what I was looking for. Something that wouldn't accidentally open in my pocket. Um, Not overly easy to lose. By that I mean not black. You know, something that I could skim past if I'm looking for it on my dresser. If I drop it on the ground and it rolls under the car, it disappears. Um, no superfluous features. I don't need a bottle opener. I don't need a seatbelt cutter. I see these knives sometimes, and they're not even cheap knives. Um, but they almost look like they hurt to hold on to. So this knife has like a little fish gutter on the back or whatever that's supposed to be. Don't really care for that. This has a bunch of unnecessary holes in it. I don't know if they did that for weight or why they would do that. This thing's got a bottle opener on it and a seatbelt cutter, it looks like, and a glass breaker. And like I said, this one looks like it might almost hurt to hold it just because of the weird design. And this is something I'm going to be using as a tool on a daily basis, probably. Um, so I went all over the place. First thing I did was say to Amazon, and Amazon wasn't a fruitful experience for me. It's funny because all the cheap knives had a bunch of jagged edges and decorations, and it's like all the stuff you would expect to find on expensive knives, right? A bunch of extra stuff that meant nothing. They probably wouldn't hold an edge, but they had a nice design, printed on the blade. Um, so I went to Menards. Usually I would just go to Walmart and find a $15 knife and point at it and be like, that one. But I went to Menards and I found this little thing, which doesn't check all the boxes for me, but it was $5. So I was like, oh, it's tiny. Like it could probably fit in like the little hideaway pocket on your jeans if you wanted it to. It has the inside lock like I wanted. It's black and it's tiny, so it'd be hard to lose. It'd be easy to lose. It doesn't have the little thumb knob for me to open up. It's got a little place you can put a lanyard on it, I suppose. So I was like, $5, I'll grab it. I actually bought two. I was like, $5, I'll grab a couple of them. And even if it didn't work for my carry, I could just throw it in my workshop and use it for whatever, or throw it inside one of my go bags in case I needed some little pocket knife. You know what I mean? This thing can't. It has extra holes in it too, so that's not exactly a little bit of superfluous features there. This knife can't be closed with one hand. Like the lock on it is so stiff and so recessed that I can't get my thumb into it very well. Like I can, but it hurts to close it with one hand. So it's smaller than I would have liked anyway. And but it was cheap. It was $5. So if and a lot of people, they don't care. Like it doesn't have that little spring retention at the end to hold the blade in, but it's stiff, which also makes it hard to open. But if you just want a little knife that's always on you, it'll never be in your way. Like the price is great, and it'll tuck away inside of a little, like I said, a little hideaway pocket in your jeans. You wouldn't even realize you're wearing it. You'd probably wash it by mistake often. But I picked up a couple of those. I wasn't super happy with it, but I was like, I'll try it out for a little bit. Well, the next day I had to go to Home Depot, and I had to return some stuff. From when I had my stove installed, I bought extra stuff, and so I was taking it back. Um, and I swung by their knife section to see what they had, and Dewalt this is a brand new knife from Dewalt, according to the sign on Home Depot. And I was shocked when I saw it because I'm a fairly picky person. Like I don't like to spend a lot of money, but money holds, like I put a high value on money, higher than a lot of my friends do. Like they're way more willing to spend money than I am. But I found this knife from DeWalt, Tanto blade. It even has a wire belt clip on it that sits up high. You can actually switch it to the other side if you wanted to. So it's over here. You could put it over here and put it blade down in your pocket if you wanted to. It's thin. It's actually It's a tiny bit thicker than the tiny one, but it's a fairly thin design. There's nothing on it that looks like it'll get caught on everything when I try to put it out of my pocket. It's an aluminum casing, but it's not too heavy. It has like the little assist thing on the back for you to trigger with your index finger. That's not a deal breaker for me by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I don't know if I've ever carried a knife that had that. I'm perfectly fine with the thumb only, usually. This one, though, has a really stiff retention on the close. So without that, I think it would be hard for me to even... It's pretty stiff to just do it with a thumb trigger. So that actually does help quite a bit. So I saw this thing and I'm like, man, this checks all the boxes. How much is it? And it was $15. So for $15, I got everything that I was looking for in a knife from Dewalt, which isn't, I've never bought a Dewalt knife before. And I've owned many knives since I was like 8. My dad bought me a knife for the first time. It's got the inside thumb lock on it. It has everything that I was looking for, and all I had to do was go to Home Depot and check out their knife section at Home Depot. This little nubbin that helps you get it open, which, like I said, I don't think I've ever carried a knife with that on it. I don't know. Like when I go to close it, it hits my thumb, which I guess is better than the blade hitting my thumb, but it's something I'm going to have to get used to because I'm not used to my thumb getting hit that fast. But other than that, like I said, it's got the round belt clip. I've seen that on 3 knives maybe. And like I said, I don't go to Home Depot to look for knives a lot. The last time I saw a round belt clip was actually, it was on a folding utility blade. Like one of the more expensive, and by more expensive, I mean it may have been $15-20. Utility blade that has the removable blades that people, the folding ones that people carry around a lot. If you work in a warehouse, you know that the folding utility blades, everybody carries those things. So yeah, Home Depot, $15. It even has a bearing in the pivot mechanism to help it fold more smoothly, open and close more smoothly. So I just want to share my EDC hunt. I spent a week looking all over the internet trying to find a good deal. I went to a few stores in the area. I bought 2 of these too because they were so inexpensive. For $15, I figured I'll carry one around and I'll put the other one downstairs, put it up in my basement, because I know that when I inevitably need another one, they probably won't be selling this one anymore. So so I figured I'd just buy another one. So when I lose my first one, I'll have a backup and not have to go on a hunt again. But if I were taking this, if I were looking for a knife for camping, this isn't what I would take. It has a stainless steel blade. It doesn't have the grade of stainless that it is on it, which leads me to believe it's not 440, which means it may rust. I'll have to feel it out and see. But if I were buying a knife for camping, I'd probably get something that was some kind of carbon material, because I might want to be able to hit it with a striker or something. Use it as a striker on a ferro rod. But this is stainless steel, which is perfectly fine for me cutting plastic most of the time at work. So DeWalt, I'll leave the model number in the description. Well, I might put it in the description of the video, but I'll definitely put it in the description, or the title of the video, but I'll definitely put it in the description of the video also. $15, exactly what I was looking for. I just rarely find that kind of thing. Okay, if you stuck this out, thanks for watching. My next video is going to be about my Waterdeep Dragon Heist wrap up, because we're at the very end of we're done with Waterdeep. We're getting ready to transition into Spelljammer. So we're like right at Spelljammer right now. So I'd like to give my thoughts about Wizards of the Coast modules in general, but also some things that I changed throughout Waterdeep, the bits that it seemed like we had the most fun with, things like that, things that if I were running again I wouldn't do. So that'll be my next video. If you made it through, thanks for listening. You guys know the drill, and I'll see you next time.